There is a famous Greek theory by Aristotle who said that to build a great city you have to think about people's happiness. And to build a city, to build a public space and the streets and the squares and the agora, and, it's about to provide a place where people can be happy. But of course in the course of history that has not been the entire story. Public space, especially in the European city, has always been the place also for people to contest ideas and to fight each other and to claim something in life and to claim a certain stake in society. And the battle for public space is equally important as the enjoyment of public space. Well, I think that this idea about public space as the theater of democracy and the place where democracy is played out and where people are, exposing themselves and showing to each other, exposing to other people who they are and what they want, and also to contest the space. This function of the public space is really under siege now, because democracy is not the same as it used to be in web society, in digitized, the era of digitization. More and more of the public exchange goes through the internet and through digital media. So it's not so obvious anymore that public space is for that battle. And what you see in a lot of public space design by architects and by urban designers and so on is a kind of new emphasis on this more quiet background of daily life, where people can sit down, can have their kids playing around, and so on and so on. So I think at this moment there is this issue: how vibrant, how active, how representative of democracy is still the public space. And I think architecture can do a great job in trying to pursue this democratic dimension of public space, rather than just a space to be happy and to be quiet and watch your kids playing. Right? It can be a lot, especially when you want to direct people's behavior in terms of surveillance, in terms of monitoring people's behavior, in terms of protecting certain interests, in terms of defending values, and so on. So I think the design of public space can be very directive in people's behavior. It's not the same as inspiring people. You can restrict people's behavior in terms of to make it socially acceptable, that they play the role of good citizen. But it's a completely different issue whether there is urban space design that inspires people to become very active and to be very participatory and to be very engaged with other people. So you can have a very negative, I mean a kind of limited version of behavior through design, but to inspire people you need something else. And it's an interesting question: what is this else? What can architecture do? What can design do to not just to restrict people, but to open up worlds, to give them inspiration, to make them enthusiastic, and to make them engaged? These are two different branches of the same task to create public design. Well, I have a dark vision in terms of what can be expected as it continues the way it is now. If we keep going on with devoiding the city, devoiding public space with any democratic meaning, any democratic discourse, I think before we know it, a lot of city space, a lot of public space will be a kind of leftover, a kind of residue of a society that is played out somewhere else, right? No longer there. But if we are aware of that tendency, if we know what's going on at the moment, if we have a kind of historical perspective on it, and we know the relevance and the value of public space in the past, I think we can feel an incredible impetus, an incredible drive for architecture to say no. We don't want to contribute to this emptying of public space. We have to fight back, and we have to impose new values, new vibrance, new enthusiasm for public space. And by doing so, I think architecture can play a key role in the ongoing vitality of democracy.